my prediction is that some of these mainstream media outlets, they're just not going to exist anymore, at least not in the current fashion that you currently see them in. One being, oh, I know, everybody's favorite show, The View. So my prediction is in 2025, I would not be surprised, ladies and gentlemen, to see Joy Behar and or Whoopi Goldberg exit The View. I wouldn't be surprised if the entire show goes off the air. It should. It should go off the air because, frankly, it's hazardous, shall we say, to one's health. It's a pretty terrible show, as you well know, and the kind of misinformation that's being spun there every single day is just atrocious and irresponsible, and they know it. I mean, this is why Joy Behar, in my estimation, has put her house up for sale for some, $10.5 million for her little 4,000 square foot. I say little, 4,000 square feet for the Hamptons. You know, I mean, the Hamptons where everybody's get 11,000 to 20,000 square feet. She wants $10.5 million for her 4,000 square. Don't let Letitia know that. Letitia James, you don't want her getting in the way of that transaction. She may tell you, Joy, that it's not really worth that. Or for all we know, since she loves you, since you're a liberal, maybe it's worth $100 million. Anyway, Joy Behar has put her place up for sale. Whoopi Goldberg is suddenly muzzling herself, saying, well, I'm going to wait and see, I'm going to wait and see. You know that is the producer in her ear saying, don't you dare, because these ladies are on thin ice, and they know it. They're freaking out because the media has changed. Oh my gosh, there's this guy named Joe Rogan, and people are actually watching some guy named Joe Rogan. Take a peek.
People want us divided, and they aren't just here in this country. They're foreign adversaries who are infiltrating our social media because it is prudent for us to stay that way. But so when you see something that really pisses you off, you should triple check that one. Yeah.
But I think that's why people like our show, because they know that we are checked by ABC News. But
we're checked by everybody.
Yeah, I mean, if we're wrong, we have, the legal note here.
The human legal
But we went from Walter Cronkite, basically, to this guy, Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons? He believes in dragons.
Did you triple source that?
Yes, I did. And he also thinks that dragons, like dinosaur-y type of animals, roamed the earth when people did. So this is the type of really, really bad information that's going out there.
Well, in defense, there are some really good news.
It's possible that Donald Trump did roam the earth when dinosaurs were here.
There are some really good news kind of influencer types, and I think it's great that they're getting information about global and current events in front of younger people who maybe don't tune into traditional media. But to Sarah's point, there has to be some fact checking and actually verification of the things that are shared, because I spend a lot of time on Instagram Reels and I'm served up things that I get outraged about, and then I realize, oh, that's not even true, but I have the sense to go and look it up. But what I do worry about with this, like the Blue Sky versus X, because a lot of people I follow on X, Twitter, have now left to go to Blue Sky, I worry we're all going into our own echo chamber. So we had this, this election that was tense. Donald Trump won, and the right is going to stay on X, and then the left is all going to be on Blue Sky. How do we try to talk to each other?
Unfortunately, I will have to say, the other side, I think, has driven people away, because it's not just discourse. It's nasty name calling and coming after your family, and I'm going to do this to you. And I don't think anyone should have to take that from anybody if they don't have to. Well, so I'm not sure, and I think a lot of Republicans who also are getting that because they have opinions.
I'm sorry, this is like pot calling kettle all day long. I mean, they're like, oh, name calling, this, that, and the other. Excuse me, has anyone heard of cancel culture? What do you think we've been through for the last 4 years in the name of unity, in the name of DEI, in the name of, you can't say this or that about anybody? It has gotten insane. But you heard Joy Behar basically say, oh, she can't understand how anybody would watch this guy, Joe Rogan. I mean, he's just terrible. He believes in dragons, totally taken out of context. He had some discussion about dragons having roamed the earth at some point, or some kind of animal that resembled something like that. Okay, so totally taken out of context. And Joe was funny about it. He actually had an amusing reaction, which would be the same as mine. In other words, your company's going out of business, your show is going out of business, you're about to lose your job, you're freaking out because podcasts are taking over, streaming is taking over, and now you're just going to extremes.
Worried about losing your job, and you're worried about podcasts taking over, and who's the source of news, and we said Donald Trump was Hitler, but half the country disagreed with us and he won, and this is and Joe Rogan believes in dragons.
We should watch that again. Joe Rogan believes in dragons. I mean, look, there is a hysteria to everything that they're saying. But even though there's all this hysteria, right? Even though they're like, oh, you know, Trump is this, that, and the other. He can't win. He can't possibly win. Well, he won. He won. And the entire time when they were talking about how awful he was, and frankly making comparisons that in my estimation were just so sort of fundamentally ethically wrong to make, insulting to history, insulting to the people that died in World War II, the people that were slaughtered in World War II. When you start comparing Donald Trump to Hitler, I mean, you lost me. I'm sorry, you have just lost me. And you know what? You lost the rest of America as well.